Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. This is your Mike's Instant Movie Review for the film Broker. And this is a film directed by Japanese film director Hirokuza Korida. Now, I hope I said that right, and I'm sure I didn't, so my apologies. I was trying to memorize how to say his name properly before I started this video, and I really hope that I did. But in any event, it's a Japanese filmmaker. However, the film was produced in South Korea with a South Korean cast. First of all, should you see this movie? I would say yes. This is a good drama movie. I don't know if small children would enjoy it. It might be either subtitled, for English audiences or American audiences, or English-speaking audiences. You have to like a movie that's subtitled. The subtitles were done well in that they were on screen long enough. I recently saw a movie, I believe a Bollywood movie, that the subtitles were on and off the screen too quickly, even for me, and I'm highly intelligent and a fast reader. But with this one, it was a nice methodical pace for the subtitles. I didn't really see any grammatical errors. Sometimes I see grammar errors or misspellings in subtitles. Did not see that in this film. I even saw an independent film last summer, an American-made independent film that had an apostrophe error, horrible, right there on the screen. It wasn't even a subtitle. It was a giant caption on the screen where they had a bad apostrophe usage. So with this, the subtitles are fine. So as long as you're comfortable reading subtitles for slightly over 2 hours, I think the movie clocks in at just over 2 hours, you should be okay. And what is this movie about? Well, the movie starts, I believe it, takes place in South Korea. I'm not sure what part of South Korea. I'm not an expert on South Korea. And there's a woman, a young woman, maybe 20, 25, and she is in a trench coat or kind of darkly dressed, so you can't really see her face or anything. And it's raining, and she's approaching this building. And then it becomes evident she's holding a child, a baby in her arms. And then there's like kind of this building where the side of the building has like a box, like a insert. And you're like, is this a window? And then there's these other two women who are kind of off back a little bit, and they're observing her from their vehicle. And the first woman with the baby, she doesn't put the baby in the box. She puts the baby on the ground in front of the box, like the box that's inside the wall of the thing. And then and then she leaves the baby. You don't know if it's her baby or what's going on. She leaves the baby, and then you pull back and you see that this, they translated to English right on the thing, which was nice for dramatics for me. It says baby box. So it's a box. And now if you've been around the block a few times, you kind of know what a baby box would be. Even if you've never heard of this concept, you can kind of put two and two together. This is a place, a safe haven of sorts for presumably women. I guess it could be a man who has a baby in their possession. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to care for it, or they don't have the means or resources or whatnot. So this is a place where a person can go, drop off their baby, and not be judged or, I guess, criminally prosecuted for abandonment, right? And I think here in the United States, we don't have that exactly. We don't have like an actual box, because if we'll find out what happens next, I'll tell you. But here in the U.S., I think there are places like police stations, and I guess maybe that's it, police stations, or maybe fire stations where people can drop off a baby, or a hospital maybe, if you know what I mean. So anyway, but it's not the best thing to do. It's not a nice thing to do if unless, but I guess it's better than the alternative, whatever that morbidly might be. So anyway, when the first woman leaves the baby on the ground, one of the other women comes out of her vehicle, and she sees this child, this infant. She scoops up the child. She gives her a little bit of comfort, or gives the child a little bit of comfort. If it's a boy or a girl, we don't know yet. And then she opens up this door, and she puts the baby. There's like a fucking, what do you call it? like a little baby chair, a little baby basket thing, you know, the baby sits in, puts the baby in that thing, and then there's like a light bulb in there, and it's like, this is interesting. And I'm assuming that some type of air conditioning or some type of air circulation available, puts the baby in there, comforts, makes sure the baby's okay, and then leaves. And then the next thing we get around to eventually is there's two gentlemen who work at the baby drop-off place. I didn't, typically I just do my Mike's Instant movie reviews, but I don't go read any reviews from Rotten Tomatoes or anything. But today I did, because I was a little shaky on some of the plot points. Well, it turns out these two guys are brothers with each other. Now, I did not know, watching the movie initially, I just thought that these guys were business partners or friends. I didn't realize for whatever reason they were brothers, but they are brothers apparently. And they're both about, one's probably 40, one's maybe 32, is what I would guess their ages. And they're looking at this baby, you know, and then they're looking at the baby. The baby's very cute. It turns out to be a male baby. And the older brother tells the younger one, hurry up and erase the video. So then it's like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Well, these two guys that work at this, baby box are basically doing their own side hustle, where they are, I don't know if they do this for all the babies, but most of them, or a good portion of them, they set up the baby box, but then they are actually not blackmailing babies, that'd be interesting, black market selling the babies for a profit, presumably, to couples that want a baby. So it's like, oh, okay, this took an interesting turn. Like, they have this front, but it's like, and then I guess one thing that confused me is there some type of actual company, the real company that's doing this thing, the real, baby box company that actually has a system, or is that a facade? There's no such thing at all. And these, you know what I mean? So I didn't really know the specifics. I couldn't figure that out. This guy almost backed into me, and then he looks at me like I'm the bad guy. Hey, asshole, you almost backed into me, you fuck. Anyway, I'm just trying to be a nice guy. It's a Sunday morning. So what else? So then we blah, 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 blah. And the two brothers are like starting their whole shtick about selling this baby. And there's a note in the little baby, with the baby, and it's like, I will come back for you, like sign from mama, who the lady that dropped off the baby has stuck a little note in the baby's clothes or whatever, blanket, saying, I will come back. And the two brothers have like a laugh about it, like, she's not going to come back. They never come back. These mamas never come back. And it's like, oh, gee whiz. So we fast forward. We find out that the mama does come back, and she's very gorgeous. She's very pretty, which always helps a woman. Like in that, what do you call it? Like the rescue the princess mentality, or the damsel in distress. So this is the young mother in distress, and it helps her case with sympathy to these two brothers that she's really hot. You know what I mean? So they're more open to her and her issues. So they come in. She comes in saying, "I want my baby back. I fucking left my baby and I feel bad." And then these brothers are showing her they've got like 20 babies, in this facility, this building. And she still doesn't know that they're baby brokers, kind of like bootleg baby brokers. So they go through this whole routine, and then I guess for whatever reason, and I mean, this is where maybe the language translation didn't work, or I make up shit in my own head about these movies when I don't quite understand everything. I think it's because both brothers, had a interest in her sexually. Like they both were, because she's really hot. So they're both like kind of giving her every fucking benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? If she came in there 250 pounds, 5'2", they probably wouldn't give a flying shit. But because she's lithe and she's, between 20 and 25, I'd say, and very pretty, they're bending over backwards to accommodate this lady. And eventually they even tell her the truth. And the truth is, we're baby brokers. We're going to sell your baby. And she, although it's kind of weird, it's like, why did she come back to the baby drop-off spot to investigate after she dropped off her own baby, but now she's going to agree to sell the baby. So that doesn't quite make sense. But, you know, no offense, ladies, but women don't quite make sense a lot of times. So we don't really know what she's thinking. Why she comes back to fucking reclaim her baby after she's given the baby up, if she's only going to, if she's only going to go off and sell the baby with these two assholes. So they go on their little, they basically decide to go into business together. They have this couple they're supposed to meet. The three of them meet the couple, and all the while, they're being tracked by these two female police officers. Now, those two ladies, they kind of, once again, I'm trying to keep up with this movie, but the two police officer ladies, like, they had an interesting dynamic, almost like, one was older than the younger. I thought maybe they mother and daughter, but they're not. They're just two police officers. One of them is really young. They do make reference to her being called the kid amongst the police people. But these two women are tracking them, and the older one is more of a ball buster. Like, the older one really wants to catch these people selling a baby so she can put everybody in jail, and the younger one is a little more human and sympathetic towards these people. So then, we're following everybody around. The couple goes to meet, the baby brokers, the two brothers, and the single mom, and the little baby. And somehow along the way, at some point in this movie, it's revealed that the baby brokers take a lot of these kids to this orphanage, or some of them have grown up, and they take along like a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old with them for this trip. And this 3 or 4 or 5-year-old boy kind of adopts the little baby as his spiritual younger brother of sorts, which is kind of cute. So, it's kind of like a sitcom. You just add a kid, you know what I mean? So now we go, and they're trying to sell this this infant, this baby, and the couple, it's like 10 million, whatever the fuck, 10 million yen, or whatever the South Korean currency is. And the couple, a man and a wife, are like, can we do 4? Can we pay you installments over the course of a year? They're like, the baby has light eyebrows. His eyebrows are not dark enough. Can we get a discount because of his shitty eyebrows? And then the mom, the mom who's trying to sell her baby, she gets on her fucking bandwagon, moral virtue signaling, and how dare you insult the eyebrows of my infant, and you will pay 10 million yen or whatever the fuck. And so they have a big fight, and then it becomes apparent to the brokers, like, hey, we got a little bit of a firecracker on our hands here, and she's swearing at the would-be potential buyers and everything. They're like, we got a head case for a single mom that we're dragging around because, she'll sell her baby, but only at the right price is the idea. And as you might expect, like I said, this woman actress character is very hot. So both of these brothers, and I didn't realize they were brothers until I saw the fucking review. They both want to fuck her. Let's be honest. They both want to have sex with her. And she kind of plays them like a fiddle a few times, kind of flirting with both of them. The younger brother especially really wants to fuck her or marry her or whatever the fuck. And you get to the idea that, the younger brother especially, but maybe the older one, they both have designs on her, and they both kind of have these paternal instincts, these fatherly instincts, that they might just sign up for the whole deal. Give me the woman and give me the baby and I'll live my fucking life. Which is, Then we discover that the woman, not only is she trying to sell her baby or whatever the fuck, she just recently killed a man. And who did she kill? She killed a man who was the father of the baby. He's also a mafia boss, South Korean mafia. And apparently she was a prostitute. And so I guess this guy was her pimp, or, whatever. He's the boyfriend / pimp, and she's the prostitute / mistress. And this dead mafia guy, his wife, who's now inherited his fortune, the dead mafia guy's wife, she wants to adopt the baby because she, it's her dead husband's baby with another woman, but she's willing to adopt it. Now, people are suspicious of that. Is she going to kill the baby? Is she going to take it out on the baby because the baby his birth in a roundabout way. Not that the baby's fault, but not that it's the baby's fault, but is she going to take out her frustration that her husband's dead onto this baby because he's the mistress's baby? We never get to that point. We never find out. So a lot of things happen. And of course, what people are kind of enjoying about this movie is, typically if you just said, oh, this movie's about baby brokers, you'd have this fucking image in your mind of these horrible, god-awful people doing an evil thing, and living, luxuriously because they're selling babies for profit. And this movie does not show that. It represents these two brothers. Yes, they're a little bit outside the law, but they're kind of likable. They're very nice guys, and they're, in their perspective, I guess one of them was adopted or whatever the fuck. One of them was raised in the orphanage, or both of them. And so they have a soft spot for these infants. They have a soft spot for these couples that cannot have their own children, their own infants. So they're pretty good guys after all. They're pretty good baby brokers. They're nice guys, and so forth. So that all being said, did I enjoy the movie? Like I said, I did enjoy the movie. Now, towards the end, I did get a little foggy in my giving a shit. I did kind of phase out, but I think that was just me. The movie's definitely worth seeing. There's no sex or violence or drugs. I mean, what am I trying to say? I guess there's not. I mean, there's adult themes, but I know some of my friends get really squeamish. They don't want to see movies if there's blood. They don't want to see movies if there's sex and so forth. I'm just telling you that it's an adult-themed, intelligent movie, but you don't have to feel like you got to close your eyes and squirm. There's no arms getting severed or any such thing. What else? I don't know. I was going to try to show you my goddamn books in case. I do appreciate, it looks like I got 10 new subscribers overnight. I am an author, A Distance from Avalon, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. It's all I ask from you kind people. If you do Kindle, if you read paperback, this is a nice paperback book, and it's very quickly to read. It's worth the money. If you look this up on eBay, on my foreign object eBay store, you see that you can get an autographed copy of my first novel. And then this one's a really awesome book that I also wrote, Fight or Play Basketball, Every Shot Counts. It's wonderful. It's a wonderfully engaging story. Some have even called it the best sports novel of 2022. I like this book so much I read it sometimes myself and say, oh my God, I can't believe that I wrote this. All right, folks, so that's it. It's a Sunday. There's more playoff football going on. If you see the title on some of my videos, if you push subscribe and notify, you may see that occasionally, maybe once or twice a week, I do a live interactive video. I don't have a set time schedule. I just do it whenever I want. I just pop in here. I do co-host a film show. My buddy Tommy DiNucci, actually up-and-coming film director. He's got Megan Fox in his next movie that I actually have a small role in, Johnny and Clyde. But Tommy and I co-host and action film podcast, mostly about Tommy's stories, directing, and other things that come up. I kind of chime in with color. And if you look at Tom DiNucci YouTube channel, you can find that. But for me, MikeMessier.com, if you go there and scroll to the bottom, you can go get all the links to all of my books on Amazon. There's a pro wrestling trivia book. There's Bad Girls with Good Tattoos, a Grindhouse novel that I produced, so on and so forth. So subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you're an old viewer, thank you so much. If you're a new viewer, new subscriber, you might say, well, what the fuck is this? What did I sign up for? What is this? Well, stick around for the ride. It's going to get better. I do things differently on my YouTube channel. I'm not trying to put up a front that I'm some asshole with a fucking studio in my basement. I'm on the road. I'm on the go. I'm living life. Yes, you can watch Messier Mantra for my studio interview show. Yes, you can watch my own original films and see higher quality production values. But when it comes down to me just sharing thoughts and ideas with you, I do them as I feel like it. And when I'm on the road and when I'm living my life, I want to give you that spontaneous Mike Messier environment, not a controlled facade of professionalism. This is YouTube. I'm trying to keep it real. in the 2-3. So thanks for subscribing to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Buy When I'm at Books, and have a good Sunday, Wild Card Sunday.